If you're out there and you're a bricklayer, maybe you're a carpenter or electrician, I don't know whether you fancy working in Australia, down under, as it were, helping to build some of the facilities for the Commonwealth Games, which will be in Victoria in 2026, because the Aussies, apparently in desperate need of tradespeople, a delegation from Victoria have been on a fact-finding mission to learn from cities who've already staged the event, including Birmingham, and just over a week ago they were in Sandwell to visit the brand new aquatic centre, which was of course the only brand new venue built for the Games this summer, at a cost of £72 million. So our political reporter Tracy Higgins caught up with Rebecca Casson, Chief Executive of Master Builders Victoria, who's currently in New York, and she asked where they'd visited so far and what the purpose of the tour had been.
Well, we've been to lots of places in the world. We left Melbourne a couple of weeks ago and went to Brussels and then to London and then to Birmingham. We're presently in New York, and we've also been to Washington, and we're also going to Scotland as well, to Glasgow. And the purpose of the visit is really, this is the Australia First industry-led post-COVID international research project that's looking at the building and construction industry and the best practices that we can learn in this new world post-COVID.
Now, you came to Sandwell, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago? What were your first impressions? Because you visited, of course, the aquatic centre there.
That's right. The Australian state of Victoria is actually hosting the Commonwealth Games in 2026. And our study tour included a visit to Sandwell because we were very impressed with the aquatic centre there. And just this week, in fact, the Victorian government in Australia has announced that it's investing $292 million in a purpose-built sporting infrastructure in the suburb of Geelong, in Warm Ponds in Armstrong Creek. And this brand new aquatic centre is going to be built, and we wanted to find out what we could learn from the aquatic centre in Sandwell and hear from the Waits Group, which is one of the largest privately owned construction and development and property services companies in the UK, and they were able to provide some very valuable insights so that we can take those learnings back to Australia towards the Commonwealth Games in 2026.
What was useful in terms of having a chat with them and kind of obviously learning really from the processes that they went through in building the aquatic centre in Sandwell?
Well, of course, our state is renowned for having the best aquatic facilities in the country, and some of the pools in Melbourne have international acclaim. But for us to stay ahead, it's been crucial to really consider what the world's best practice is. And what we learnt from Waits was about the programming, the management of the project, about redesign, about adding temporary swimming pools and para swimming warm-up pools at the facility. And of course now, which is probably the most important thing, is about how they're managing the legacy post-Commonwealth Games, because very important that, you know, the infrastructure is there for the Commonwealth Games, but really important and so vital to have the infrastructure built in such a way that can really benefit the community for many years to come after the Commonwealth Games.
And you're also, as well, I gather, trying to recruit some tradespeople from the UK to come and join you in Australia to build facilities out there.
That's right. We are very keen to talk to anyone, that has been working on the infrastructure, or anyone that really is focused on, building construction, the trades. We've got a shortage of trades and skills in Australia, and particularly in Victoria. As we look towards building the infrastructure for the Commonwealth Games, we want to hear from people, whether you're a bricklayer, a carpenter, anybody that's on the tools there across the UK, but very specifically in Birmingham, that have got that experience of building that infrastructure. It's a lovely place to be in Victoria. In fact, I migrated from England to Victoria many years ago, and it's been really great for me and for my family. And we're very keen to talk to anyone that'd like to come and work in Australia, noting that you're entering your winter and Australia and Victoria are entering the summer. So it's a great time to migrate over and bring your skills over to Victoria.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very tempting for some. Now, you're flying to Scotland, aren't you, a little later on today, on the last leg of your tour. What are you going to be doing over there?
Well, of course, noting that Glasgow hosted the Commonwealth Games in 2014. And so we're really keen to see what the legacy has been post 2014, and thinking about what we learnt at Sandwell, and also, broader Birmingham, the Perry Bar residential scheme. And we spent some time with Lend-Lease there as well, and really thinking about what the legacy aspect of the Commonwealth Games will be for our state. And we're meeting with some people from Glasgow City Council, from BEST, and a few other organisations as well, to consider what we can learn and take that best practice back to Victoria.
Well, listen, the best of luck with it all, Rebecca, and thanks very much indeed for talking to us this afternoon.
Tracy Higgins, our political reporter, catching up with Rebecca Casson, Chief Exec of Master Builders Victoria, wanting workers from the West Midlands and beyond from the rest of the country to help with Commonwealth Games venues in Victoria in 2026.